century of taking care of the people of Massillion, the Affinity Medical Center is just weeks away from closing. But the town and the hospital's nurses have one final push before the doors are locked for good.
News 5's Jordan Vanderberg has more on what they're doing and the potential impact the closing of the hospital just might have.
When they were told on Friday that the hospital would be closing, employees say the mood was sullen and somber. But despite all that, they continued to tend after the sick and injured. And that's the reason they're not going down without a fight. It has welcomed life and tried to stave off death. But after 118 years, it's the hospital that has flatlined.
It was an absolute shock. I don't think anybody here saw that coming.
Dr. A.J. Seth operates at Affinity Medical Center once a week. Hospital ownership say 6 straight years of unprofitability was the medical center's death knell, prompting its scheduled closure 4 weeks from now. Dr. Seth says the announcement of the hospital's closure was as jarring as it was troubling.
The hardest part of this whole thing is in December, you're having Christmas parties and talking to the employees, and then 2 weeks later, you're like, we're shutting down.
Friday was very difficult, very emotional day.
The potential impact of the hospital's closing may be immeasurable. 800 jobs would be lost, tax revenue would be lost, businesses that service the hospital, their revenue would be lost. Then there's that all-important residency program.
Going through a residency program and having it close is devastating. You move here from some other area, you've been training under a certain system, you buy a house, you're 23 years old. Now you have to come home and tell your family that, hey, in 4 weeks, I don't have a place to operate.
We see over 43,000 patients this year in our emergency room. That's been a steady increase over the last 5 years. Minutes in care here count. Seconds count.
That's why the local nurses union didn't waste a moment to mobilize. The union has started a campaign to save the medical center, drafting the support of city leaders as well. Nurses say its importance to the city cannot be overstated.
All the nurses here, all the staff here, we're here to fight for our patients and for our hospital. The community needs us here.
The nurses union wants the community's help as part of their campaign, directing people to go to saveaffinity.org. The mayor and leaders from the Chamber of Commerce are also working on their own plan to hopefully save this longtime hospital. In Massillion, Jordan Vandenberg, News 5.
There's a melting taking place.